Hi, this is Corey Lee Segondoy. This is Business 502, Information Systems for Management. This is a narrative PowerPoint presentation on article review number 3. This review looks at the article Crowdsourcing, How to Benefit from Too Many Great Ideas. A few key points to consider during this presentation is that crowdsourcing allows companies to gather ideas and knowledge from large groups of people. Many companies successfully collect ideas but struggle to use them effectively. And lastly, the article explores how companies can turn crowdsourced ideas into business value. A brief summary about the article is that it examines how companies manage large amounts of crowdsourced information. It introduces the concept of absorptive capacity and also uses case studies of software companies to identify capabilities needed for successful crowdsourcing. Now, the main argument is that crowdsourcing alone doesn't create real value, and that companies have to develop systems and processes to evaluate, share, and implement outside knowledge. The real success highly depends on the company's capabilities and not just participation. The 3 key topics of discussion include absorptive capacity, information overload, and organizational integration. The author's argument is that organizations need absorptive capacity to identify new knowledge, obtain information, implement the ideas, and apply the knowledge effectively. The authors emphasize that without these capabilities, valuable ideas could be ignored or even lost completely. Now, my position is that I agree with the authors because collecting ideas is really easy, but turning those ideas into actions is much harder and takes a lot more effort. Organizations hyper-focus on generating ideas, but forget to implement the process and maintain it. The author's point of view is that more ideas don't automatically get better outcomes. Large volumes of submissions can easily overwhelm the organization, and filtering mechanisms or systematic process is absolutely essential. I believe that this is one of the strongest points in the article because quality is much more important than quantity, and companies need transparent criteria and an evaluation process when filtering new ideas. Now, considering the author's arguments, one question to ask is it better for managers to have 1,000 ideas with no system, or is it better to have 100 ideas and have a structured review process? The authors stress that crowdsourced ideas have to be integrated into already existing processes because technology alone isn't good enough. They also emphasize that leadership support and employee involvement are 100% critical. What I believe is that the company's culture highly influences whether or not the new ideas are either openly accepted or completely ignored by the employees. Employees have to be receptive and be willing to collaborate and accept the external suggestions. The article used a multiple case study approach that considered 4 different crowdsourcing platforms in the context of 3 software companies, AlphaCore, BetaCore, and GammaCore. For data collection, the researchers conducted stakeholder interviews, observed the platform activities, analyzed internal documentation, and also tracked participant behavior over a period of time. The advantage to this method was that it used real-world examples, which did help provide a more detailed understanding of crowdsourcing. On the other hand, even though the evidence in the article is convincing, the limitation was that it was a small sample size. So it's harder to apply the findings in a broader category that's outside of the software industry. The study leans heavily on qualitative observations and quantitative data, so it doesn't really measure accurate performance outcomes in a more concrete way. The article's lessons aren't limited to large corporations or big businesses. They also benefit small businesses by using customer feedback to gather ideas, creating simple processes to review suggestions regularly, prioritize quality data instead of collecting large amounts of customer feedback, encouraging employee participation, and using low-cost tools like surveys, social media, and online communities. One example would be a local bakery. The local bakery could use social media surveys to get product reviews and ideas from customers, and then evaluate their suggestions based on cost and demand, even before introducing their new items. The key lesson is that small businesses don't need thousands of ideas. They just need an effective way to find the best ones to act on. The article contributed by encouraging the shift of attention from generating ideas to managing ideas. It connected crowdsourcing to absorptive capacity and also showed that values come from processing the knowledge and feedback and not just simply collecting it. What I learned is that the success of crowdsourcing is completely dependent upon the company's readiness, and that value can be created by external ideas only if companies can absorb and apply them effectively. My final assessment on the article is that it provided a realistic perspective on crowdsourcing. Its strongest takeaway is showing that successful crowdsourcing depends on a company's understanding of absorptive capacity. Companies have to move past just collecting ideas and focus more on managing, evaluating, and implementing them. And last but not least, this article is valuable knowledge for all companies, both large and small, who seek innovation and a competitive advantage. Again, this is Corey-Lisa Gondoy. This is Business 502, Information Systems for Management. And this concludes my narrative PowerPoint presentation on article number 3. Thank you.